you. You know, it's a blame game, right? It's always this little bit. When anybody gets out there, anybody, and they take front and center. Let's take that off the board for a minute. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. Mama D coming at you. Whenever somebody takes front and center and is like, it was the judge, it's all his fault, and then is real condescending when the whole public, when they're trying to get elected, you know, social media, I hate to inform these important suit wearers, social media is the people. The people are the ones that are voting. So you tell us to quit digging, quit believing the social media. Oh yeah? Why do you want us to quit digging? Is it because you're responsible for what happened to Emmanuel? Because basically, you didn't do your job right. The guy you hired didn't do his job right. Yeah, you heard me. He hired him. Yep, he hired him. Yeah, I was going to do the intro and I decided not to. All right, you guys. You know, I'm not up to my par. I have upper respiratory infections, so I'm trying to fight through this. But when I get information like this, I'm not going to sit tight. I'm going to blow it out the horn. We're not going to be here all day because I can't hardly breathe. If I do have to cough, I'm going to mute. I've got a cough drop in. I hope that doesn't bother you. Yeah, Angela Tom, that's right. The ho, we gonna show the dirty deed on the Tita. Right, on the Tita is amazing, by the way. I have, whoops, sorry, hold on, wrong button. I have a mild sickness, which I'll be over in a week. Onditita has been working his butt off and is going through chemo and is fighting a life-threatening disease, cancer. So if I had a hat on, I would take it off to Onditita. But I also want to tell you that there is more to this story. And when he's calling out social media, let's get into this. Let's break it down, right? He actually hired the guy that is the one that didn't do his job in the first case with Jake. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Starlight, good afternoon to you. Hi, American Pie. Hi, Julianne, Nikki UK. Welcome back, my beautifuls. Ash Picks. Carla Boyjan. That's your boyfriend. Onditita's your boyfriend. He is a cutie. Lori, hello. Hi, Zozo. Hi, Maggie. No, I don't think he's quit. I don't think so. I think that's a rumor. I think they wanted him to quit. I hope he hasn't quit. But remember this. This just came out. A statement to the media and our community members regarding Jake and Rebecca Haro case. Put out by Mike Hestrin, district attorney, the DA. He says, we understand how deeply the community and the media care about Baby Emmanuel and are eager, here comes that truth train, for information about this case. We share your desire for justice and your desire for transparency. However, there has been a significant amount of misinformation circulating in the media and on social media, which can be confusing and frustrating to everyone. See, that's like trying to tell us to shut our mouth, right? Mike goes on to say, please know that we are committed to providing accurate information. Oh, really? I'm about to provide some too, Mike. Okay. I'm about to break it down in a minute, but here we go. Also, please understand that we are bound by legal and, oh my God, I'm going to choke to death on saying Mike Hestrin and ethical in the same sentence, right? All right. We are bound by legal and ethical responsibilities that prevent us from sharing detailed case information publicly. These responsibilities are in place to avoid making statements that could influence the case, prejudice the fairness of the court proceedings and impede the goal we all share, justice for baby Emmanuel. We kindly ask for your patience and understanding, and to trust that the accurate facts will be shared through appropriate official updates in due time. Spreading false information or rushing to conclusions can unintentionally hinder the investigation and impact the court proceedings, which are essential to receiving justice. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. Big love to you, Mike. Oh, yeah. There's your advisory, you guys. Ice and fire. If the Jake was locked up when he heard his daughter no other children wouldn't have had to suffer at the hands of Jake, and baby Emmanuel wouldn't even be born. Correct. I think he is on vacation. I think he needs a moment because he's been really working hard. Shauna says, and hear me out, the reason our children are coming up missing is being normalized because the people that are supposed to be protecting them. Thank you. You nail it. You nail it. Okay. Let's just get into it. So, let me bring you up to speed. I'm about to prove to you through actual news, right, that was released, that it wasn't really all the judge. It was actually the prosecution that undercharged Jake. So instead of charging him for what they did charge him for, which was willfully cruelty to a child, right, which is horrific as it is, there are laws in California that also are 25 to life if you paralyze through child cruelty and bad things. You get 25 to life if they are paralyzed and under the age of 8. Which that's what happened with Promise Faith. She was 10 weeks old, so she's definitely under 8, and she was paralyzed. So why didn't that get pled? Because of the prosecution. What is the prosecution? The DA, right? Which, Mike, you're the DA. Oh my God, you heard me. You hear me right. All right, let me break this down a little bit more. It all comes back on him. It's his fault, in my humble opinion. Here we go. Listen to this.
The most basic charge, which is the assault with a child under the age of 8 causing paralysis.
Yeah, he was charged with child cruelty. I mean, we've got the current DA blaming the judge in the case, and you're saying actually it was the former DA's mistake?
Correct. If the former DA would have filed the charges correctly, that would have tied the judge's hands. He would have been unable to sentence Jake Haro to probation. He would have had to have sentenced Jake Haro to life with the possibility of parole. The judge would not have been able to sentence him to probation. The charges were simply pled improperly. They were too low.
So, I almost choked on my cough drop. So basically, if the prosecutor had pled the right charge for the crime, Jake would have been 25 to life in prison. But because the prosecutor did not do that, that wasn't available to the judge. The judge can only rule on what's out in front of him. He can't go pulling stuff out of his butt, right? So then you get this Mike out here on the mic telling social media to shut it down, that we're hindering their crap because they don't want us to look up and really find out the information, which leads directly to him. He's the one that hired that prosecutor. He, Mike, hired that prosecutor that did the shitty job. Do you see these people searching for their kid? No. Now they never searched for their baby. They're now arrested. Who else isn't searching for this baby? Huh, Mike? Nobody. Nobody seems to be looking for baby Emmanuel. No one. Is it because you have such a grievance mistake that you wanted it not in San Bernardino, but in your Riverside, house, so that you could hurry up and get this shit wrapped up? Well, it's too late. It's too late because it's all coming out. So let's bring this up. This is the grandmother of Promise Faith. I know she looks very young, right? But it says a father accused of murdering his 7-month-old baby son has been branded the devil by his former mother-in-law after he left his older daughter with brain damage years before. And it's way worse than just brain damage. It's way worse. Liam says typically they mess up and everyone else's fault. That's why I called him narcissistic. Guess they don't like being called out. Well, we're going to get to the bottom of it today because this is bullcrap. Father charged with killing baby Emmanuel Haro was allowed to avoid prison sentence in recent child abuse case. And I want to show you this. They're saying in this article that Judge Dwight, and I know some people are like, no, it's a different judge, but this is what the media is reporting. And I'm just going with it because they've got a quote from him. So, Judge Dwight W. Moore in 2017, photo courtesy of Colton Joint United School District. It goes on, this article, to say, and let me see, where is this from? Long Beach Post, and it's by Doug Carey. All right. Baby Emmanuel Haro, the alleged murder victim in a case where his parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, are the defendants, would still be alive today, which is stupid to say, but whatever. If not for a judge's decision to grant Jake probation in a different child abuse case 2 years ago, Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestrin asserted Wednesday, right? Remember Mike? Let's go back and look at Mike. We all saw him, yeah, all condescending with that. Do I look like him when I smile like that? Why don't you get some rest? Yeah, that guy? All right, let's get into the details. In 2003, Jake pleaded guilty to willful child cruelty in a case involving his 10-week-old daughter, Caroline Haro, who is now known as Promise Faith, who suffered a fractured skull, damaged spine, multiple broken bones, and other injuries evidencing severe child abuse. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip. Here we go. At a court hearing on June 8, 2023, Superior Court Judge Dwight W. Moore suspended Jake Haro's 6-year prison sentence and granted probation instead. Quote, "I'm giving you a chance," said Judge Moore. Quote, "Don't mess it up. Good luck." And Jake walked out of that courtroom. Now, Mike Hestrin is saying that it was this judge's fault. But pay attention to this. As you go further and we look into it, I want to know who undercharged him, right? Right here we have Sam, and I think it's Taloa. Sam Taloa is the Deputy District Attorney, Sam Taloa. In 2023 hearing, Deputy District Attorney Sam Taloa took issue with the lenient sentence. He's the damn one that put it out there as an undercharge with the wrong charge. He says, Your Honor, quote, "Your Honor, I would just ask for the record to reflect that the people objecting to this," says Taloa. "This is biased on the severity of the injuries as we discussed the victim." On Wednesday, Judge Moore told the Long Beach Post that ethical rules prevent him from explaining why he granted probation to Jake Haro. He goes on to say, and this is the Judge Moore, "I'm absolutely precluded from commenting publicly about the case," said Judge Moore, who acknowledged that the controversy caught him by surprise in 18 years. "This is the first time I'm being taken to task in this manner about a decision I've made." I want you to look at this. Okay. This is the guy that undercharged Jake Haro in Promise Faith's case, and why Jake Haro was allowed to walk out the door. And you can see Sam Taloa Wright had been a paralegal at the Riverside DA's office until June 30th, 2015. A damn paralegal. When he was sworn in as an attorney by Judge Jack Lucky, and that's funny because I have one dog named Jack and one dog named Lucky. So attorney Judge Jack Lucky, and then offered a position as a prosecutor by who? Who? By DA Mike Hestrin. Sam accepted the offer. Let's go up here for a minute. Let's get who really did this, right? Because he did it. He's the one. Oh, hold on. I didn't grab it. Hold on. It is live, darling. Hold on. I'm going to show you something. This is the dude that hired Sam Tallow, going from a paralegal to a prosecutor. Right here. And then offered a position as a prosecutor by DA Mike Hestrin. Sam accepted the offer. And if you don't believe me, let's just bring him up here. Look, 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 look. Look, 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 look. Let's make it large and proud. So. Welp, welp, welp. Jolly J says this is so sad and heartbreaking justice for both babies. And we've got to expose it. Will you two quit with Heidi? I keep looking back to see if I missed her. You guys quit messing with her. Podcast queen. He was mad at the press interview. You know why? Because we were digging and we were this close about to uncover all this shit. Right? We were just about to uncover that it was actually, the truth was that this dude, hold on, let me grab I want to get him. This dude, I want him by himself for a minute. Okay, I just swallowed a whole cough drop. This is the dude that undercharged and did not choose, as a prosecutor, the correct charge to put in front of the judge. And it is basically not legal, if you will, for the judge to just go out and do his own thing. He's got to work with what the prosecution hands him. And if the judge did go out of bounds, then it's up to the prosecutor to file an appeal and find out if he can bring this judge up and say, this ain't right. But he dropped the ball not once, but twice. Not only is he the very reason, the man on the screen, Sam Tola, the reason that Jake walked out of that room after doing that to a 10-week-old baby. But he's the reason that Emmanuel is no more. And he was a paradam legal until this guy who got on screen and told us to shut our damn mouth, basically. Let's flip this dude so we can make him look like he's talking to Sam. There we go. See? So he worked for him. He worked for Mike as a paralegal and then got hired as a prosecutor. And then that guy is the very reason that we're where we are right now with no Emmanuel. So, who hired him? Again, the same dude right here. Let's take him, and let's take this dude, and let's take this dude. Let's hold him accountable, right? We're going to cut him out of this picture. We're going to go right back up here. And we're going to make some room. We're going to shrink it down a little bit. Yeah. Now it makes sense, doesn't it? Why we're getting media advisory? Because they don't want social media to dig into the truth. Mazda Smith says, and he was about to blame Judge White. This man needs suspension from this case. Hey, he's up for election. Can he get anybody's vote? Nobody cares. Hola, ¿cómo está? Hablo español un poquito. E.A. Quetty says, oh man, there's so many feelings being communicated that it's hard to understand what the actual facts are. This is fact. This is damn fact. This man is Sam Tola. This man was a paralegal working for this dude that's in our face, trying to get us, shut us up. Oh, screw him. Yeah. This dude is basically responsible for actually hiring the dude that is responsible for Jake being undercharged and allowed to walk out the damn door. And yet this man has the audacity to say that he is bound by legal and ethical responsibilities. And why am I calling him out? Because look who headed this media advisory. Mike Hestrin. You heard it. Carla says, you're right, Mama D, and they don't like it. Zinc lozenges for your infection for a day really kicks butt to your infection. Thank you, lovely. I'm on it. Podcast Queen says he actually irritates me for some reason because you have intuition and it's firing off that you know damn well he is a snake, in my opinion. Look at them beady little eyes. I've seen spiders with friendlier eyes. That's right. He was so rude and literally snapped at the press. It's disgusting. I see nobody cares in chat and thought it was a troll. No. I'm reading the person's name. Nobody cares. Thank you. Okay. I don't care. There's just no way that they're going to get away with this. So it goes back to Riverside now. And now we've got the defendants have got the Horas have their own new attorneys, which are from the Turpin case. It's like the worst after school special I've ever watched in my life. So, if you really want to know, it isn't as much the judge as it is the DA, right? Well, you're looking at him. The DA. He has been the DA since 2015. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about former DA about. Because he has been, let me go down here and look. Let's make sure. Michael A. Hestrin was elected at Riverside County District Attorney in June of 2014 and sworn to serve in this capacity on January 5th, 2015. He was re-elected to a third term in 2022 and continues to hold the position of Riverside County District Attorney. Born in the Coachella Valley, same as Rebecca, Hestrin graduated from the University of Arizona in I lost my place. Tucson in 1993, earning a bachelor's degree in history. Following his undergrad studies, he spent a year living in Mexico with relatives while working as a reporter for a small newspaper based in Guadalajara. Hestrin then returned to the U.S. to pursue his legal education at Stanford University, where he graduated in 1997 with both a Juris Doctorate in law and a master's degree in Latin American studies. Prior to his election as DA, Hestrin dedicated nearly 20 years to serving as a line prosecutor in the Riverside County DA's office. Throughout his tenure, he handled numerous complex criminal cases, successfully prosecuting over 100 jury trials. He served as a trial team leader for the District Attorney's Sexual Assault and Child Abuse Unit, demonstrating his commitment to seeking justice for victims of child abuse. But he wasn't paying attention to his own team, because the prosecutors all fall under the hat of the DA. So, while this dude, this is just, I need you to really wrap your head around that. While this dude is out here, just set it on the table, baby, and I'll deposit it for you later. Thank you. While this dude is out here preaching at social media to shut us down and telling everybody don't listen to social media, he literally is pointing the finger at the judge and being like, it's this judge's fault that this happened. And I thought that was weird, that there would be anybody pointing a finger at anybody else in that press conference, when it shouldn't be about that right now. It should be for the search of the baby, but no search is going on. No, they actually did that press release to basically tell us to shut our mouths and don't come at them with questions if they're based on social media. Told Onda Tierra to go rest, get some rest, right? Meanwhile, it really wasn't all the judge after all. It actually is because the prosecutor's office, the DA, who he's been the DA since 2015. This case is in 2023. Hestrin was reelected in 22. He's the one that hired this Sam Tola. And Sam Tola's the one that pled the lesser charge, instead of pleading the one that would have put Jake behind bars in prison for 25 to life. No, Jake walked out that place when that baby couldn't walk and never will again. Jake walked out and then proceeded to procreate and not only damage over time, according to Hestrin, Emmanuel severely, but then to delete little Emmanuel. And do you see them searching for this baby anywhere? Anybody? Nobody cares, says hi. Oh, I'm new here, but I love that channel. I actually want to say thank you. We hear that quite a lot. Postcast Queen says he was very pleased in the press interview. He called people who were concerned keyboard warriors. Like, sir, sorry for being concerned. Well, this keyboard warrior has put it together that you're the guy that hired the prosecutor that let Jake walk. Wow. I don't even know what else to say on that. It's blowing my mind. The DA had a condescending tone with On the Terra that still doesn't sit well. Right. And this is why. Because Onda Tito's on the point. Right? Onda Tito was, bringing up all this and had the knowledge and starting to put it together and really showing where things were happening and where they weren't happening. And one thing we aren't seeing is searches for this child. You and I both know if this law enforcement from Riverside had actually went out to the landfill, guess what would have happened? Media blowout. They're at the landfill right now. We can barely make heads or tails, but if you look real close, you can see they're breaking it down. That never happened, right? The damn garbage cans are still at the house on the back at the homestead of the House of Horror. The garbage cans are still there. People are living in the house. This case is screwed. And if this guy thinks for 1 minute that a jury is just going to simply, hold on, my mic is loose. If this jury is just going to drop it like it's hot because of the past case, what'd I do? I screwed up my mic. They're not. They're going to try and keep focused on this case and say, but is there evidence he did it to Emmanuel? Emmanuel needs to have his story told. So, yeah, great. You have some sort of a digital, boot print, right? That's going to lead you to all this. Where's the baby? Where is the baby? And that whole statement that you, alleging that you basically know in a certain direction where baby Emmanuel is, but yet you don't know where he is double talk. And we're not going to trust you. You've lost all our trust. Yeah. You don't get up there as law enforcement and throw judges under the bus normally. Why would you do that unless you're trying to make sure that the blame gets put on someone else, right? No. Y'all feel me. Tammy says, find our baby. We all care and love. We all care, Emmanuel. We love you. Yes, we love Emmanuel. Starlight 783 Pocket Troll says, they catch us from the street that go to the ditches and the wastewater areas. Yeah, there went that truth train, right, Carla? Let me grab another cough drop. Oh no, y'all. I have to have a cough drop. I have to have a cough drop at all times or I start hacking. Mr. Rooster says, does anyone know what it's like in the area? I do. I travel the area frequently. There is so much empty land and 2 landfills between Cabazon and Moreno Valley. Trust is earned, definitely not given. All senior authorities abuse their position. Thank you for pointing that out. Ocean Deep says, I have this horrible feeling that he has gotten rid of Emmanuel, and so that no one can find him. Well, Tita brought up the fact that a lead had told on the Tita that Jake bought lye. And I have to make a correction. It's the dry lye. The pellet lye is what dissolves, and I mean it dissolves it all. I watched this thing on what it can do to a chicken, to like a chicken wing. Yeah, it was gross and it was quick. 1 day, maybe 2, and that baby is pure liquid, if you feel me. Thank you, lovely Sarah. Hot ting. I haven't had ting since I was a kid. That's right, get a cough drop. Sheepdog, welcome back. Horrible is it possible he used lye and there is no body now? Yeah, that's what I really do think. I really do believe that. Money make a Mitch. This DA is so arrogant. He used to bully Riverside County. He thought he could bully the country. He didn't. He got caught with his hands in the hiring pot. I think, says Podcast Queen, I think he's telling the truth about how they got rid of baby Emmanuel and not how they done it. That is far more sinister. I kind of missed a little, but I get you kind of. Liam says, didn't he start giving clothing to a charity? Okay, let's get into more. So I just wanted that to be really, yes. You're right. Cinnamon Bear, hello, lovely. Can you use your tarot cards to find the baby? Do you remember in our tarot cards when we tried to find the baby, why I was freaking out? And I kept saying, why am I getting cups, which is all liquid? Anybody remember that? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, hold on. I remember telling me how proud I am of myself. Yes, please don't swear if you can avoid it. I know I do sometimes, but we try not to. That's right, Tony for Freedom. They used lie here on the island back in the 1800s. They still use it today. Carla Burgeon says, I also remember you saying in the very beginning, go check the landfill. That's right. Cheryl Ann, I really hope on the Tierra comes back, as he is Emmanuel's loudest voice. Tierra is coming from the heart and needs to continue being Emmanuel's loudest voice. Thank you, thank you. My other channel is called Crime Story Mama. We are not live over there for the last week because I've been sick, and anytime that I get this kind of information, because it all came down to me this way. I was like, when I heard this story up here, listen again to what she says.
The most basic charge, which is the assault with a child under the age of 8 causing paralysis.
Yeah, he was charged with child cruelty. I mean, we've got the current DA blaming the judge in the case, and you're saying actually it was the former DA's mistake?
Correct. If the former DA would have filed the charges correctly, that would have tied the judge's hands. He would have been unable to sentence Jake Haro to probation. He would have...
Why do they have to use the word former? Because not really, it's not former. So see, what happens is, this is the dude right here, Sam Tola, is the one that has to file the charge with the DA. And so it really comes back to Mike, right? Mike's the one that has to give the stamp of approval and say, yep, that's the appropriate charge. So it's his fault. It's this dude's fault, in my opinion. He's the one that gave the stamp of approval for the charge, saying, yep, that's the charge we're going to go with. Even though it should have been the other charge, which would have been the one about if a child is, and then paralyzed under the age of 8, it's 25 to life. It's the DA. He's been the DA since 2015. What the hell are these girls talking about? Former DA? No. This is the DA. I just did that. I just showed you since 2015. So it's these two guys right here are the reason that we are where we are right now. Yet this condescending asshole, sorry, I said don't swear and then I did. This condescending man that got on here and did that cheesy ass smile and smirked at all of us and called us keyboard warriors or whatever he called social media, and basically said we were interfering. Well, now you know why. Because he knew we dig. And he knew this had reached a level to where somebody was going to be like I was and go, wait a minute. So who's the former DA? And who's the former prosecutor? So I looked it up and I went and got Sam Tola. Sam Tola, if you look right here, where is it? Right here. Let me shrink this down so you can read it. At the 2023 hearing, Deputy District Attorney Sam Tola, T-A-L-O-A, took issue with the lenient sentence. All right. He undercharged him. It wasn't the judge. It was the prosecutor that then had put in the wrong charge that the DA, okay, let's go get the DA. Approved. And he's the one that's throwing shit and blame at everybody else. No, no. Oh, they want that cough drop too. Oh boy. I swallowed it whole. Yes, Kim or Kim. So more than one person has failed. Absolutely right. In Sherry's opinion, thank you, Jennifer. I just turned it on channel. Thank you. Thank you. That's right, podcast queen. He's pissed because we actually use our brains, and he knew we were going to dig deep, and he wanted to discredit us before. So he was getting ahead of it before the sleuths, right? Before the YouTubers and the TikTokers and the social media people started figuring it out. But I was like, okay, so who hired Sam? So I looked it up. I was like, okay, well, let's see who hired Sam. So I dig my deep digging. I find Sam Talla right here, right? And I'm like, Sam Talla, same guy, right, had been a paralegal at the Rebecca DA's office. So he worked for Mike Hessert, or whatever his name is, office until June 30th of 2015, when he was sworn in as an attorney by Judge Jack Lucky. All right, fine, he's an attorney. But then it was Mike Hestrin that offered the Sam the job. Yep. Yes, they're cherry flavored. It is, sore. It is. But I'm not going to leave this lie. I'm going to get out here and share this crap. Because that's what he is to me. He tried to get in front of it, in my opinion, right. And now we're blowing it out the door that he's the very one that hired the dude that is the reason Jake walked. Jacqueline says, front of him and us to sufficient sentence for someone who does that. So, I mean, both can be true, equally at fault. They're both at fault. They're all at fault. Yep, this is a Vicks old cough drop. Hey, Viv, good to see you. Hi, Procy America. Welcome to the channel. Procy America says, I'm the plaintiff in Valhoas versus Bonta and Bianca, a federal case to strike down CA's CCW scheme. No one covers it. Help me bring it to light. I'm not into lawsuits, honey. I don't do lawsuits. I don't do lawsuits. I'm sorry. Jacqueline says the judge with that many years on the bench should have the ability to look at those charges that were presented to him before sentencing and use common sense. But if he didn't know, actually he can't go above and beyond what the charge of the prosecution. You know, he can't just be like, okay, I can go to the max. So let me come up on top side. I feel like I can help you a little bit better. The judge has to go with what the prosecution has deemed. He can go to the maximum charge of that, or he could go to the lesser of it. The judge doesn't always know to the extent of the damage done. Nobody was right here. No one. But definitely not this Mike Hestrin, who's up for office, right? Who needs to be elected again. So I think we need to make sure people know. Podcast Queen says the fact Rebecca had a baby with him after knowing what he did to his own daughter is sickening. Totally. Kim Ortiz, thank you. Kim Ortiz says, was he the DA when he violated his probation? Yes. When he got caught with the gun? Yes. And didn't he get caught with rugs? Yes. And he shouldn't have had bond. Correct. You got it. You got it all right. Prime Candy, good to see you. I'm going to have to reply on you all to say goodbye. I'm heading to the start because I have no clue what's going on. I love you, Prime Candy. You'll need to see it from. Right, Jennifer. Both parents need to be sterilized. Thank you, Liam. I'm not going to lay in bed and be sick and when on the Tita is battling cancer and going through chemo and still putting himself out there. I can at least get out of bed and get on my chair and sit in my easy chair and bring this out, right? Yes, Net Detective, you'll need to watch it. You'll need to watch it. But this is why this case is not getting handled properly. Aren't they searching in the landfill? Have you seen anybody on the news covering that, my lovely? No, they haven't. And here, let's get down here. Let's get into this one. Here's on the landfill start. So let's start off with Matt Thibodeau.
About is the trash at the Haro's home. So as you can see from this photo right here, there is a black trash barrel outside of the Haro's residence, and it is empty. It was picked up. Now, this barrel actually matches the barrels in this area of California that is serviced by CC&R Waste Management. Trash in this specific region where the Haros live that is picked up by this specific waste management company is brought to a landfill called the Lamb Canyon Landfill. And at this exact moment, law enforcement has not ever went out to Lamb Canyon Landfill, to our knowledge, to do any searches, which debunks rumors that have been circulating online of Jake confessing a few days ago, saying that he accidentally took Emmanuel's life and that he put him in the trash outside to be picked up on trash day. Now, law
they don't believe it, or they'd be
issue
looking
search
for
warrants for the Lamb Canyon landfill if they do feel like there is going to be evidence at that landfill pertaining to Emmanuel's death. But at the moment, we haven't seen that publicly yet. And based on the press conference the other day, where the sheriffs were saying that they have an indication as to where Emmanuel is, I don't necessarily think that they feel like he is in this landfill. Could he be? Very possibly, but I don't think that their investigation has led them to that specific area at this time.
Right. So now, on the Tita, went out to that landfill on the 28th of August.
Is there a foreman I could talk to or anybody on the record? Was there any police activity here in the last few days that you could talk about?
No, there hasn't been no police activity.
No.
You were never asked to keep it hush-hush with sheriff's deputies checking the landfill for quite possible Emmanuel Haro?
No. As far as that, we haven't had any activity here. So.
We haven't had any activity here.
Because there's nothing been going on here.
Nothing been going on
so
here.
So that's just absolute no?
Yeah, no. We haven't had nothing.
Absolutely no.
Are you guys tied in? Is this the same landfill as the Badlands?
The Lambs Canyon.
The Lambs Canyon? So it all ties in together?
It doesn't tie in, but we are Riverside County. So
can you drive from here to there without going through the 60?
You have to go around.
You have to go around. Okay, so no activity on this side.
So no.
Okay, thank you
No
very
activity.
Nothing at all, man.
much. Okay, thank you very much.
None. No searching of a landfill. No searching at all. No searching in the landfill, you guys. They ain't looking for this baby. You think so, Robin? You think it was connections? Well, I think it was something, right? Yeah, he violated his parole and got out and got out and got out. Blame it on Pebbles. Welcome back, beautiful. I'm not feeling my greatest, but oh well. That's just it. Oh well. So, you guys, I wanted to make sure you knew the truth about who actually is responsible. And the man up there on the camera telling us to shut our mouth as keyboard warriors is just as responsible for Jake being on the outside and not behind bars, and for what happened to Emmanuel, as the judge, in my humble opinion. He's the one that hired this prosecutor. That prosecutor chose what he thought was the law broken. He sent it to the DA's office. The DA is Mike Hestrin, and the DA approved it. The judge can only rule based on what the prosecution is offering. Had the prosecution said, well, we would like this to go with the 25 to life because it fits. This child was under the age of 8 and was paralyzed, then the judge would have been able to rule on that. You feel me? Okay, also, just to say the judge told him he was giving him a chance not to mess up. Like, sorry, what? I totally get that. I hope I read that the way you felt, too. Okay. Jake is in jail, correct. This is just, it's dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Dirty deeds done by Mike and Sam Tallow, right? Mr. Rooster, it may have been fraud for financial gain and it went horribly wrong. There's something weird here. There's a lot going on with this. I don't get it. I wanted you to watch this. This is so bizarre. So I think this is when Jake started realizing things weren't going their way. And this is from quite a few, this is from the 14th of August, but someone pointed out here, who is it? I can't see, it's so tiny, hold on. I may have to go grab another cough drop, I'm going to. Crime Scene with a K. Okay, because I want to give their channel a heads up. You know, a shout out. Jake's strange reaction to seeing Emmanuel described as a missing on the flyers, okay? So Jake actually mouths the word and says it. He's like, missing? Why does it say missing? Right? After you watch that, we're going to play it again, and I want you to watch how Rebecca behaves around Jake during this entire thing. First, watch it for Jake. Just keep your eyes on Jake.
Her husband set for football.
He opens up the posters.
She came here and the baby was crutching. He falls asleep on the car ride. She got him a mouth guard here. This morning she was in
He says missing with a question, right?
the back of the car getting the baby. That's the only symptoms they had. That's the only thing they had. Inside. Why did they put missing?
Why did they put missing? That's what he says.
That's what they put. They made it.
And he sucks in. He's like, because I know he's about ready to lose his shit. Now, watch again. Hold on. We're going to watch again. Now, watch this time. Watch Rebecca. How she keeps her eyes on Jake the whole time. Keep your eyes on Rebecca. So he sees it, he opens it. This is a different angle. He says, missing? Look at Rebecca. Look at her eyes.
Why did they put missing?
She's constantly seeing how Jake's going to react. She's watching Jake. I think she's watching because she's like, oh shit, we're in trouble. Right, Jennifer, because he's not missing. Jake knows where Emmanuel is. I just find it strange, that whole reaction. And then I wanted to share this with you. Now, Rebecca used to wear braces, and you can see how cute she was, and then she got with Jake. That's all I got to say about that. Hogan, honey, they don't have any type of birth records on Emmanuel. We don't have blood from Emmanuel. We got nothing to test DNA on. So no, there's no DNA test at all. One of the pictures that you streamed the other day looked like Christian Campus. Well, and I showed that picture of Christian Campus. So there is another baby missing right here. This baby is missing right here. And his name is Christian Vladimir Campos. He was missing since November 13th, 2024 from Los Angeles, California. And somebody came on and was like, that's so far away. It's 2 hours and 11 minutes from Riverside. So no, it's not so far away. 2 hours and 11 minutes. Come on. And also at the same time is his missing sibling or mother, or I'll just say relative, is this female that's only 16 years old. They both went missing same day. And the reason I share that is because that baby has a lot of the look to me before the damage to the child of this baby. But I could be wrong. Like some people are like, the nose is too wide and so forth. But if nothing else, I want to give this little guy his own shout out that he is missing, and so is his mother, since November 13th of 2024. Still not found to this day. So that's horrific. So this gets weird. I'm going to show you this. Renee says, thanks for this. I knew that when he was so rude and unprofessional, something was up. He made me want to look into him. Me too. Yep. See, your intuition fired off. Exactly. Who lived in the Brock house? I don't know who the Brock house are. Sarah says them two are downright worthless. Do you mean Rebecca and Jake? Or do you mean Sam and let me grab a copy. Sam and Mike, right? Sandra Cruz says LA is closer to Riverside than 2+ hours. Okay, thank you. I just used Google. Used to be an hour, but because of traffic it takes longer. Thank you, lovely. And Sherry's opinion, OMG, what the hell? That's going to be her dope look because she was kind of cute. Can I tell you my theory? The kid just died a couple weeks before Emmanuel went missing. Why can't that be? I don't know what you're saying, lovely. I'm sorry. Viv says the black eye was her idea to make the plan look more real, in your opinion. Could be. There are similar features. I agree with Blame It on Pebbles. Judith says Rebecca mentioned a 16-year-old daughter, maybe Christian's mother. Where did she get a 16-year-old daughter? Nobody knows about no 16-year-old daughter. We have the ex-husband saying that both of the daughters that he has are adults, like 18 and older. Rebecca's saying, Jake treated my 16-year-old daughter just fine. Mike has shown the spotlight in himself by trying to save his own arse. Correct, Sheila. Right, Mary. Jake wanted it to say abducted or kidnapped, in my opinion, and he was mad. Star Winter says, who's greasing whose pocket for this cover-up? That's an excellent question. Hold on, y'all. I got to go grab more cough drops. I'll be right back. Only thing keeping me from coughing is these cough drops. He'll blame her the minute they start cracking down on this, says Podcast Queen. I know, for those that are new, I normally have a very pleasant voice. I'm sorry it sounds so terrible. Yeah, him and that damn smirk. He's such a rude, horrible man. I agree. There was so much talk about so many kids at one point. I just figured she spent her life breeding like a rabbit. Just saying, right? You're not wrong. It's so weird. It's just so weird the way Grandma's like, okay, think about this for a minute, you guys. Is this not strange to you? Anybody else? Let's clear off the board. Clear the board. Clear the board. Okay. Let's talk about this for a minute. The own grandmother had never seen Emmanuel, had nothing to do with him. Didn't even know what he looked like, right? Then, Rebecca's ex-husband didn't even know she'd gotten remarried, that she'd gotten pregnant, or even had a baby. No knowledge. None of these family members are claiming to have seen Rebecca's baby Emmanuel either. None of them are coming forward going, last time I saw Emmanuel would have been right here or right there or whatever. No. The only thing we hear is we hear some girl talking at the funeral of Rebecca's cousin, and that happened on the 5th of August, and she says, I haven't seen your baby since November when he was born. I find that strange because that is when Christian Campus is reported missing, is November. So that's weird. Then we find out that Rebecca and Jake didn't even have any belongings of a baby in their home. None. Nothing. They also didn't have any photographs of this baby. That's even stranger. So then when we get down here, this gets really, really weird. Listen to this. I'm starting to wonder. Did they create? I don't know. I'm not going to ask. I'm going to let you figure this out on your own because I don't get this. I don't get this at all. Listen to this.
Emmanuel Haro residence. You can see here the people still at the memorial. The train has entered the chat. We're going to tell you fine folks at home the entire story about Ramona Street, 5008 on the Tira. Jake, Emmanuel, and Rebecca Haro lived here in that house where the American flag was at. Jake used to live in this house a few years back. Probably when he got with Rebecca, he ended up moving into the main house, and the mom with her stepfather moved into this house, and that's the shed right there. People on this quiet community here have noticed the difference on the Tira. Little Emmanuel was never seen, ever on the Tira.
Isn't that weird? So, no baby clothes, no baby pictures. None of the family saw this baby. Nobody on that street ever saw this baby ever. Is it starting to make you wonder? It gets even weirder because he's about to interview a neighbor that says that the neighbor is saying she saw a little boy, Emmanuel, playing outside a few weeks ago or whatever. But now keep in mind, Jake's sister has children. Are one of her kids named Emmanuel? And that's who she saw? Because Emmanuel was not going to be playing outside. That's weird. But nobody ever saw this baby. And they got no baby clothes. It gets weirder. Just listen.
Residents on the block say they didn't even know that he was born. These neighbors here tied into those neighbors there. The house that caught on fire. Very suspicious and very, very peculiar indeed. Now, does it tie into Emmanuel somehow? Because people were saying that there was clothes in the dumpster, que no sé qué. Those stories cannot be confirmed. The stroller has entered the chat. Originally, the stroller was there where the American flag is at, behind the Tira, homie. Neighbors throughout here are upset because these fools were tied into the fools that burned their house down. A lot of activity, all hours of the night. And so maybe this incident here.
I just swallowed a whole cough drop again. Okay, hold on. Nikki UK says, Mama D, hold what? Is Sandy Christians? Okay, let's go back to that real quick. And then you're going to find out things get even weirder. I'm not kidding. Let me find where we are with the baby Christian. She is 16. Sandy is 16 years old. And Rebecca talked about her 16-year-old daughter that nobody knew she even had. I'm like, what? And just like the locals are saying, it's like less than 2 hours away. And the woman at that funeral's like, I didn't see your baby since November when he was born. Okay, well, here you go. November 13th, 2024. This kid went missing. And he was 0 years old. He was just a little bitty baby. All right? I don't know. So everybody's like, how could this have happened? All right, well, we do know there's a 2-year-old little girl. Could this picture actually be the 2-year-old little girl when she was born? Could this picture be that 2-year-old little girl when she was born? And could these other pictures right in here be of, so you take this away, and this be the little 2-year-old. Let's go like this and say that these 3 pictures, they're the 3 pictures that look like this baby, right? A lot more like this baby. I don't know. I'm just asking questions because it's so strange. But even what gets weirder is, and I told you it's going to get weird, so here we go. Let me grab it. We got to go way back up. Way back up. Is it this one? No. This one. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Mabel says, could it be the baby is Jake's and not Rebecca's? I don't know. Kimmy says, apparently she has 2 kids from her first marriage that she doesn't have custody of. They're adults, Kimmy. They are adults. We got that right from the ex-husband that they're adults. They're not children. They're adults. Just Breathe says, wouldn't it be so crazy if they made up Emmanuel completely as a hoax to get money and it backfired? Obviously speculation, but heck, at this point, how will we ever know? Okay, listen to this. This is all about giving away new baby clothes. Listen.
Belloso in the Inland Empire. New developments. Today's episode brought to you by the letter H. Hola! And by the number 7, 8, and 9. Check it out. Now, I can't disclose too much information because what I'm about to tell you is very, very crucial. And so please forgive me if it doesn't all make sense, homie. Now, we have reliable sources that Jake and not Rebecca went into a business on the tira 3 days in a row. The 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. Now, on the 7th, he donated a bunch of baby products, clothing, and some other apparatuses, all brand new, not even a scuff, homie, on the tira. On day 8.
On the 7th, Jake allegedly donated to this place all brand new baby clothes that had never been worn ever. It gets weirder.
He asked if he can use the dumpster, which they said yes, because they knew him on the tira, and he threw away more baby clothes. Excuse me, I retract that statement. He threw away what appeared to be 2 grocery-sized bags. What was in there, we don't know, homie. The 9th, he came back and he donated some, I don't want to say what he gave, but he gave something to the business which they since then sold off. All the clothes that he donated were sold off. All the apparatuses were sold off. And so there's little kids out there wearing Emmanuel's clothes, brand new clothes, that quite possibly were never even used, homie. Now, I'm sorry if this story doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to those who know, homie, on the tira.
Okay, so on the tita says he can't explain it fully, but he says it makes sense to those who know, like a clue. And I'm like, why would you have brand new baby clothes, bags of brand new baby clothes and items that have never been used, and a missing baby too, and you'd be getting rid of it on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of August? I don't know. And no, the 16-year-old, if it was Sandy, she wouldn't be giving birth in that house, right? Because the picture of Christian, he was already born. He was already born, and they had pictures of him and everything. So Kimmy says, I think they stopped taking pictures of him because they damaged him so early on. They didn't want any proof of that. That could be. I don't know, Sherry's opinion. That's fearful. You think they hit Emmanuel, didn't realize they gave him brain damage, and when he got a little bigger, they realized they had done, and they unalived him because Jake would be done again for abuse. That's horrible, but could be. Ahmad is your boo. You're gonna see when he says, Carla's entered the chat, homies. Carla's a crush. He is a girlfriend. Crystal Burns, justice for Emmanuel Haro. Very much so. But they said they had a December birthday. Well, they also said, hola, and somebody took their baby. Rosanna says they planned this. Donations 7th, 8th, 9th. Costco on 10th. Reported missing on 14th. So between the 10th and the 14th, in your opinion. Good points. Excellent points. Crystal Burns says, hello, everybody. I'm new here from Newton, West Virginia. Well, welcome, lovely. Great to have you here. We get chat pinned back up. In Sherry's opinion, I think it's either a hoax for money, or they sold him for money to someone who wanted a baby, or someone who wanted to make money off a baby. It's horrific no matter what. Those are horrible choices, right? Archer and the Empress Tarot, these two adults obviously don't have two brain cells to share. Played on Pebbles says, I can't remember what channel, but a YouTuber found a Rebecca with the same maiden name as this Rebecca. Yep. He discovered that in 2009, this Rebecca created a fake pregnancy and got all kinds of gifts. And it's weird because I did ask cousin Vinny, Vinny Politan, I asked him, and I said, is it possible that is the same Rebecca? And because they do share the first and last names, so one is called Becca and one's Rebecca, but they share the same maiden name. And he said he saw a picture and it didn't really look like her, but then again he couldn't rule it out because Rebecca has changed over the years so much. So it was so weird because in 2009 that woman was, how old was she? 24, I believe. And so then if you do the math or whatever, she would be the same age as Rebecca too. So I can't rule it out that I can't rule out the 2009 Rebecca or Becca that faked this whole pregnancy and having this baby with these terrible disease. And so she got all kinds of money and all kinds of gifts and all this. And then she got caught. And she said she was sorry. She just wanted attention. I can't rule it out because there were no pictures in any of the stories that I dug. So like I said, I went over to Vinny and I asked Vinny Politan, is it the same girl? And he said he'd done the same research I had. Now, he said he did see a picture and he didn't think so, but he couldn't rule it out because she changed so much. So I find that very, very strange. I find that very, very strange. Right, Ocean Deep. A normal person wouldn't do any of this stuff. Yeah, she doesn't have a 16-year-old. So what is Rebecca talking about when she's in that latest jail cell interview and she's like, he's, referring to Jake, he's a good dad. He treats my 16-year-old wonderful. His stepdaughter, who's 16, wonderful. I don't get it. Thank you, Angel of Christ, for joining us today. Mabel said after Jake damaged the baby, Rebecca didn't want him anymore. That's sad. Oh, my email address is rubberducky on the screen for you there, 2005@yahoo.com. I can't wrap my head around what they planned here, right? Christian Edwards says, in my opinion, they won't say where the baby is because they don't want police to see the full injuries on this poor baby's body. I'm just saying, and how come no medical documents on this little angel? I think they can't tell him where the baby's body is because I think that they used lye and water and dissolved the baby into water. That's just my theory. Prime Candy says, Mama D, they found guilty of red rum. Do you know what likely sentence would be? I have no idea from U.S. Life. Life without parole. Okay, so here's the baby born sometime between the years 20 and 25 who might be 7, 8, 9 months old, kidnapped, not kidnapped, was at the game, not at the game, not buried. No, I can't even... Mark, I normally can understand everything you're saying. I totally got lost. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Juice says it's her few years before restraining order on her mother. Very much. 2005, she filed a restraining order, Rebecca did, on her own mother, a restraining order. Then in 2009, this 24-year-old named Becca, that shares that same maiden name as Rebecca Haro. Maiden name, same age. Is weird. She fakes that whole thing about this very sick child and is getting tons of money and gifts and all that. Gets caught and tells about it. Hello, Raccoon Mom. How did the 2-year-old girl survive living with these two monsters? That is a good question. I still don't know. Morg says, it's okay, I was just trying to express my confusion. They built up in this case. Oh, you did good. I totally was confused. Welcome back, Star Winters. I wonder how Jake and Rebecca met. What was the meeting of minds? I don't want to know, right? I'm not well today. Thank you all for understanding. Viv says, he should have had life the first time, so who knows? Absolutely. Hey, Mark's World. He said, hi, family. I hope everyone is doing well and is having a great evening. Thank you, lovely. I'm eating these like they're M&Ms. They're Hall's, cherry-flavored cough drops. Kim Art says, I sure hope the 2-year-old got checked out. I'm sure they did. Mabel says, maybe Sandy is Rebecca's daughter and Jake had a baby with her. I was thinking more like, what if they were like, all a rug house, being that there's an OD every time you turn around in that house. I mean, we had Jake's brother in 2021, Hector, in the year 2021, 4 years ago. So he cannot be the father, but he passed away of an alleged OD. Now, I was over on, I think it's called, I should have looked it up, Gunner's TV Collection. And, I just adore his channel. Anyway, he had a guy on there that was friends, long-term friends with Hector, Jake's brother. And that man expressed, after meeting Jake, and being at the funeral himself and the way Jake carried himself at Hector's funeral in 2021, that guy is still left with suspicion of Jake being the one that he is speculating, he said, may be responsible for Hector's death. So I found that interesting. Carla says, how can anyone hurt a child? Well, they're evil, right? Crystal Burns, I don't see how parents can do things like this to their own children, shaking my head. Me either. Bob Thomas, not the defense attorney, but the prosecutor files the charges. Correct. The DA files. So the prosecutor files the charges and the DA approves them. So Mike Hestrin is the DA that put the stamp of approval on Sam Tabola's, who is the prosecutor's request. So Sam's the one that got the undercharge, the wrong charge for Jake the first time. He then passed it over to get that DA stamp of approval. Yep, that's the crime that fits this. Yep. And that's when Mike Hestrin, who's out here barking like a chihuahua at us, saying, you know what, social media, don't listen to them. Discredit them. They are not good. They're interfering. That guy with the, on the tee to get some rest. That dude, he's the one that put the stamp of approval. Yep, that's the right charge there, Sam. So Sam brought that charge in, which allowed leeway. Instead of 25 to life, it left an opportunity for this judge to be lax as well. So all three of them. Liam, for more cough drops. Thank you, sweetheart. It's about right, too. $5. Thank you, lovely, for the $5 snooping chat. That is very, very kind. And believe me, I'm going to need them. Midnight Ministry, Changing Lives News. I do believe Rebecca was with Jake when Hector died. Incorrect. Nope. So Rebecca was not with Jake in 2021 when Hector died, because the friend was telling us who Jake was with at that time, and it was a different person. So the friend cleared it up that Rebecca came after Hector's death. Whose funeral was Rebecca at when they said they had not seen the baby since November? Hold on, Al Gypsy. It was Rebecca's cousin on August 5th. His name was Charlie. It was Rebecca's nephew, actually. Correct. Thank you, baby doll. Was it the nephew that passed away? It was you guys are getting me confused. It was Charlie, who was Rebecca's nephew, and he passed away from a fent OD and was laid to rest on August 5th, and that was Rebecca's nephew, Charlie. Hector was Jake's brother, passed away from an OD, allegedly. Now, what was interesting is Hector's friend that came on to Gunner's TV commercial, I can't remember the channel. I feel bad. Let me look it up so I give him the proper credit. I want to see what his name was. There we go. I want to give him the proper credit. I like giving proper credit. Gunner's Collective TV. There it is. Right here. This gentleman. Give his channel some love. And I watched him on a different one. Not this video, but a different one he did. And he had Hector's friend on, right? And the friend said, you know, that Hector wasn't even really into drugs. So it was just weird that it blew his mind. Okay, thank you, Kirsten. I'll check after the live. Right, Sheila. Hector's father was also called Hector. I believe it. I believe that. Mabel says Jake was a pallbearer for Rebecca's nephew. Could it be that the baby is buried with the nephew? A lot of people want to know that. I mean, all they'd have to do, you know, the night before a funeral. The night before a funeral, there's already a hole dug, right? grave is dug. And they've got it all, everything peeled back. And it's waiting there for the casket to arrive. So what if Jake or Rebecca or both of them went out there the night before the funeral? They went out to the cemetery and they dug a little deeper and they laid down baby Emmanuel to rest there, covered him back up, patted it all down, got back out on their little, rope ladder, and then went to the funeral. And then that casket got laid on top of that baby. Wouldn't that be something? Annie says, I thought the nephew passed away from an OD and his brother was unalived himself but called in his unknown death. The brother actually was an OD. And that was weird because, like I said, when Gunner's Collective TV was doing his interview with this friend of Hector, he said that they had all been told that this man died in his sleep. That Hector had died in his sleep, just like his dad, Hector, had died in very young because of medical problems. Well, it was after the funeral, or at the funeral, one or the other. At the funeral or at the wake, I can't remember. At the gathering, that they found out that no, that Hector had not passed away in his sleep, that actually had been an OD. Thank you, Debbie. You are wonderful. Thank you, lovely. I so appreciate that. Just Breathe says, yeah, let's all be careful with our words. Another live I watched this morning on the case got taken down by YouTube. Who was that? That's terrible. Only 239 likes, folks. We got over 500 in here. Come on. Valerie says they better have some damning evidence to be moving forward with these charges. They better not allow this to slip through with all the eyes on them. May not bode, there we go, may not bode well this time around. Thank you, lovely. I had to think because I kept thinking it was a typo for body, but you're saying bode well. Yeah, and the cousin was cremated. But the little ones, he was cremated, put into an urn, and then laid in a casket and then buried. And I can prove it to you. Hold on, because we already did that. We had to look that up too, because we were all like, well, if he was cremated, then he couldn't be buried. But yeah, he can, because they did that. I've got so many notes here. Give me a minute. I'll get back over to the funeral and show you. I say that, but I haven't found it yet. Lord, it's way, way, way back there. I was seeing if you were seeing all this that I'm scrolling through, because it's like, oh my golly. Here's that one with the funeral. I hope I didn't lose it. Oh, Lord. Yeah, he was buried, though, I promise you. We've got the photograph of the casket area while they're out at the gravesite. I'm looking to see if I can find it. Yeah, I do have... that's not really a funeral. Is it? No. Okay. I did have it. You'll have to go watch my old video, I guess. I'm sorry, lovely, but he was buried. He was buried. Downtown Gabby. I like your name. Not popular, but I'm leaning towards the theory there never was a baby. And it was all an attempt for a GoFundMe grab. This is a growing theory on Reddit and X as well. I'm starting to wonder that myself, to be honest. We got nobody that ever saw this baby. You think the landfill? Kelly, that's weird. I just watched him. Very interesting. Who was it? I'm looking. I don't see it, y'all. Passion Flower says, or after funeral, the mound of dirt is soft And a baby could be placed on top of the grave, then placed flowers on top. I heard he was cremated. Yeah, he was, but he was still buried. Definitely. And for whoever's going to be like, I couldn't watch you because all you did is smack on a cough drop the whole time, then you're not meant to be here, because we're live, we're real life, and I really was sick. I really am sick, and I can't help it. And this is how you got me today. And that's just to that one troll out there that I know is going to be all like, you smacked your lips too long or something. Because there's always somebody that comes on like, you know that they're not part of your channel because they've never met you before and they have no respect and they're very rude. So I just want to get that out of my way. Sorry I had to jump out and start dinner for my fam, but I'm back now. Welcome back, sheepdog. Welcome back. Judith says maybe Sandy buried too at gravesite because, ooh, the saw's on her. That's right. Viv says, step off. Mom is sick. Leave her be. I love you. Sucks I can't even go nowhere because when my son gets harassed, kind of, if my son is Emmanuel, because I live in the area. Your son looks like Emmanuel? Oh, wow, Bean Baby. Wow. Bob Thomas says the sheriff is the one that told social media to shut up, not the prosecutor. The sheriff did too, but the prosecutor, I just swallowed my cough drop whole again. That's 3. Yeah, that prosecutor, Mike, he did too. He was quite smug. Sarah says, don't worry about what others think of you. Just do your thing. We love you. I love you, Sarah. Thank you. Aw, baby doll. I love you too. All the way from Ohio. Thank you. Crystal Burns says, you're completely fine, sweetie. Don't worry about them haters. We got you 100%. Thank you, lovely. Lola, hello, lovely. Good to see you. All right, you guys. I'm going to check and see if I left anything out that I wanted to share with you. I got to go way at the top. Hold on. I think I got everything. I think I shared everything. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, my golly, we got to look at this. Okay, this is the last thing I got for y'all. In exclusive jailhouse interview, father of Baby Emmanuel says he would tell his missing son, I love you, buddy. Okay. You're not saying your son's name ever, Jake. But I wanted to get to the part. Hold on. This is how I'm like, wow. So we're going to jump over here to this page. This is the most important part of this entire article. He says, now he's got everybody's attention. This man is sitting in jail being accused of red rumming his own child. He says, Rebecca is innocent, Haro said. The media is killing her. She is a beautiful woman. She loves her children. So I wanted you to realize he had the opportunity to say we are innocent. He had the opportunity to say anything about himself being innocent, but he did not. He had the opportunity to, shout loud and wide across everything because everybody was going to see this interview that he was innocent. Nowhere in here did I see where he made the claim that he was truly innocent. It is interesting that Emmanuel means God with us, right? But that's what Jake used. He said, God is with us. He never said Emmanuel's name, but he said, God is with us, he said. The allegations are horrendous. So, of course, people are going to be riled up. Do you guys remember Jacqueline and Trezell West? Yeah. They said, well, we understand that everybody might have feelings about us and stuff. We understand. Yeah, they were guilty of classic and sincere, taking out those 2 little boys that were so little and they were the foster parents in their prison, right? Okay, so right here, the allegation, okay, God is with us. He never says, I did not do this. I would never hurt my son. He does not say that. He does not say that. And if his son was missing, why would he talk to the camera about, or to the reporter, what he would say to his baby if his baby's missing? His baby's only, 7 months old. Wouldn't you want to talk to the kidnapper? And be like, I'd rather talk to the kidnapper that has my son. Please bring my son back. Anything like that? No. He never says he's innocent. He never once in this entire interview says he's innocent. In fact, all he does is whine because he says that they re-injured his shoulder when he was yelling at Rebecca, I love you! And they tackled him. Just Breathe says, Midnight Ministry, where on TikTok is that? I never saw it. TikTok stresses you out. Let me go back up, Midnight Ministry, and let's see what we hear. Midnight Ministry, Changing Lives News, the story on TikTok where the gentleman's son played football there too and said to the past 2 weeks before Emmanuel I'm done reading, right? I can't read. Before Emmanuel went missing, that Rebecca didn't bring the baby, but before then, the baby was at the football. Oh, I didn't see that. Me either. Being Baby, has anyone looked into CPS? Maybe that he's taken from CPS, but since it's confidential, they can't. I don't know. You can't really get into children's records there. Thank you, Just Breathe. All right, you guys, I'm about to have a hacking, coughing fit, so I'm going to jump off here. I love you guys so very, very much. I pray, and I normally would do a really long prayer, but again, I am going to be coughing any second and not be able to stop. So I'm just going to say, I love you with all my heart. Say a prayer for Emmanuel, please. Please say a prayer for little Emmanuel. We pray in Jesus. We pray to you, Heavenly Father. I'm going to do a prayer anyway, can't help it. Don't let me cough, please. We pray to you, Heavenly Father, for Emmanuel. We all gather our hearts together in one united voice and unconditional love. We wrap our love and protection around baby Emmanuel Haro. And we ask that wherever this child is, that they find him as soon as possible, that he be revealed, and that justice be served correctly. We ask you, Lord Jesus, to carry our love around his siblings, and that Promise Faith and the 2-year-old little sister and all of the siblings of Emmanuel, even the 16-year-old we didn't know about, be protected from all harm. We ask this in Jesus' name with all of our hearts. Amen. And it's finished. I will see you guys soon. I'm going to go cough. I love you. Bye for now.